Everyone is operating at the level of consciousness that they're at. How do you know if you don't love someone no more? When you ask that, when you're at a restaurant and you place an order, you're not in the kitchen harassing the chef and making sure he's making your food. You just know he's making your food. When you don't have boundaries, you're basically saying yes to somebody else and no to yourself. Most of our problems stem from not loving ourselves and accepting ourselves fully. The power of matching PJs, the power of a matching PJ set and slippers. People go as far as you let them. The more you love yourself, the clearer it gets externally, and people will stop playing with you. It's an energy thing, I swear. Rejection is protection. People only are as meaningful as we make them. Lyss 5.0 doesn't do that. She doesn't doom scroll. She doesn't wake up late. She doesn't sleep in. She doesn't skip the gym. So when I think about doing any of those things, I'm like, we don't do that. I don't do that. Every day is going to pass by anyway, so I might as well go to the gym. How close-minded and small-minded of somebody to think that God isn't talking to us in so many ways at all times, because he's here to help us and help us evolve and live a good life. I just really want to stop hiding my relationship with God just because it's different. If that's not your objective, you do not deserve to hit. Sorry. I have a whole bunch of skincare and a whole bunch to talk about, and y'all have a whole bunch of questions, and we're gonna have a great girl talk. Okay, this isn't a question, but this is always a question. What's my skincare routine? So how about I give you my skincare routine and a therapy session. How can you tell if some guy is into you? Babe, you will know. You will know. Let me preface by saying I'm talking about men, so you know, men, it's in their nature to pursue women. Like, it's literally in their masculine human nature to chase women and pursue them. So if they're not doing that and making it very clear that they are interested in you, then they're not. But I will say, I know it's a little bit more complicated than that, because men like to just, or boys like to play games. I'll be honest, we play them too. We just don't know we're playing into it. It's really not much to say. You will know if they're interested, and if you're confused, they're not interested, or at least as interested, you know what I'm saying, as you maybe. How to deal with lack of friends and a period of loneliness. I've always struggled growing up with friends, so I've really been alone, or like, you know, had a very small circle for the majority of my life. And honestly, it's not something you have to deal with per se. Honestly, I'm gonna just say this. I would rather be alone, not lonely, but alone, there's a difference, than be in the wrong group of people or around the wrong kinds of people. You really are who you hang around. I don't take that lightly. When you get to a point of just ultimately loving yourself and like really respecting yourself, you won't tolerate anything less than that from other people around you. And if you're somebody who's prone to kind of crappy friendships or just hater type of friends or whatever, fill in the blank, because I definitely dealt with that too. I would rather be alone than deal with that. Damn, I should do a face mask first and then do my skincare after I wash my face. I got too excited. I wanted to show you my skincare routine. I still will. This is gonna be a long one, okay? I'm using Shea Moisture's African Black Soap Clarifying Mud Mask. Okay. It smells so good. Damn, I wish I had wine. I would definitely pour up a glass of wine with y'all. But yeah, honestly, it's really all about perspective. There is a difference between alone and lonely. Like, if you're lonely and you feel lonely, that just indicates that you're not 100% comfortable with yourself. The more quality time and intentional time you spend with yourself, the easier it'll get to be alone, and the more you'll value yourself anyway, and it'll be easier because you know, like, all right, well, if I don't have any people in my life, then I'm at peace. And then whenever I do meet people, if they're good people, then they can stay. But I would rather be alone until that happens. Same thing with men. How to forgive girlfriends for things they've done that hurt you. I say there's a spectrum here, because certain things can't really be forgotten. I'm not gonna say forgiven, because everything and everyone can be forgiven, obviously. But like, it depends on the intention and the history of the friendship. Like, if this is somebody that you genuinely know is a good person, and they messed up and made a mistake and did something, and you know that they're genuine, then that's one thing, and that is so much easier to forgive and move on from anyway. But if it's somebody that isn't a great friend anyway, and then they do something, I wouldn't even bother, to be honest, at least right away, and like keeping them around. I will say, like, forgive everyone, because at the end of the day, everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's operating at the level of consciousness that they're at. And I know that's a big sentence So I'll say it again. Everyone is operating at the level of consciousness that they're at, like the highest level of consciousness that they know, which means they're trying their best. And if their best isn't your best or something that you wouldn't do, that doesn't mean that they are even capable at the moment of doing or saying what you would have done in that situation, if that makes sense. And the more you accept people for who they really are through and through, like all their flaws, that's unconditional love. And it also just gives you peace of mind. You don't stress about what people are doing, what they're saying, and how they're acting, because you know that, one, you have no control over anybody, any outcome, anything outside of you. You have control of you. So like, there's no point in fussing or, you know, kind of getting upset. I feel like I'm off railing a little bit here, but let's just vibe, okay? ADHD, you know? I don't know even what I was saying. Depending on how they are as a friend and how much they mean to you, and you know what I mean by that, like that alone will say if you even need to, like right away, and move on and keep being their friend. But say that they did make a mistake and they're a genuine friend, I say, you know, accept it. Feel your feelings, like, because your feelings are valid, and express them and communicate and be able to move on and genuinely let it go. Because it's one thing to move on, but it's another to move on and act like everything's fine, knowing damn well it's not, because that builds resentment. So if you're really gonna forgive somebody, forgive them fully and move on. When I say forgive, I mean forgive and move forward. Like, obviously not cut them off, whatever. I mean, if you want to, do that too, you know? I feel the topic is taboo amongst girls. What do you think about masturbation? I don't think nothing of it. I think it's normal. I think it's a freaking normal human curiosity and thing to do. I understand that it's taboo, and honestly, fuck that. We're human beings, bro. Like, everybody freaking does it. And even if you don't, that's okay too. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Everybody's at their own pace and journey. And so, like, if you have never even been curious or interested, that's okay too. Like, it's not something that is like scary or weird. I don't know. I'm all for really getting to know yourself through and through. Your body is included in that. And also too, I always preach about like loving yourself and treating yourself the way that you want your dream and future partner to treat you. And if your love language is physical touch, first of all, mine is physical touch. I love giving myself hugs and like feeling on my body in the mirror and like hyping myself up and doing that. Like, that's a way to show love to yourself, and I that's a perspective, okay? If you've never heard that or you think it's taboo, then you're probably like, it's true. Like, don't act like, you know, couples don't be doing that. Like, it's obviously something that's in us for a reason. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it should be taboo. I think do it. Learn your body. Get to know yourself. Get to know your body. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think that if anybody judges you for it, that says more about them than you anyway. And do what you want to do. How do you know if you don't love someone no more? When you ask that, okay, how to remove razor bumps from down there? The only way that I was able to get rid of razor bumps is to stop shaving. I started getting waxed and I stopped getting razor bumps, obviously, and ingrown hairs even. And it started growing back way thinner, way finer, even lighter. But I do know waxing is a luxury. It's fucking expensive, and if you're not consistent with it, it doesn't do the job. But anyways, there has been this freaking little razor I've been seeing everywhere on TikTok shop, so I've heard that it doesn't give razor bumps. I don't know. I might try it out, to be honest, and let y'all know. This is so therapeutic. I'm having fun just painting my face right now. How to set boundaries and protect your energy. It really starts by just showing love to yourself, and the more you show love to yourself, the more you're gonna want to protect yourself naturally. Okay. We'll just talk about boundaries, because protecting your energy is honestly just staying away from shit that doesn't bring you peace, happiness, a good feeling. That's really it. Staying away from anything other than that. When you don't have boundaries, you're basically saying yes to somebody else and no to yourself. It's kind of how I see it. So when you start saying yes to yourself, saying yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no, that's boundaries. And honestly, this is another big thing, because I know a lot of people are scared, I guess, of drawing certain lines with people because of how they're going to react. But think about that. Like, the boundary is for them. if somebody's going to react negatively to you placing a boundary, then that boundary is needed for them. They're obviously crossing a line, and you putting down that line indicates that they can no longer benefit from you in whatever way that they were, you know, draining you in some way, because that's why the boundary was needed in the first place. Don't get mad if somebody gets mad at you placing a boundary, because that just means that they can no longer access you in the way that they want to access you, and it no longer benefits them.
Fuck off. Oh well. Like, what?
But yeah, placing boundaries is not easy, especially when you're a people pleaser. Like, I am a retired people pleaser, and I never had no boundaries. I let people walk, run, drive all over me. And I never said no. I wouldn't ever speak up. And honestly, it just made me feel like crap. It made me feel worthless. Okay, wow, that was really deep. But like, yeah, it made me feel so much lesser. Like, it made me feel less about myself. It made me feel like I wasn't my own person. So honestly, you get to a point where you're just like, bro, enough is enough. Like, nobody's gonna speak for you. That's what you have to realize. Nobody's going to speak up for you. And if you do have somebody who's gonna speak up for you, great. Like, I love that for you, because obviously there are people that will. But every single time, or when it's just you and somebody else in the room, people go as far as you let them. So don't let them. Like, place a boundary, and if somebody doesn't like it, then fuck off. Like, and honestly, I feel like boundaries is overall so good, because you feel protected and safe in your own self, and you know, like, don't play with me, this is where I cross the line. You also have nobody crossing that line, and if they do, you have no problem walking away. And then it'll lead you into your self-love journey even more. Like, the more you stand up for yourself and do for you what you want others to do for you, and do it for you, the more you'll love yourself, and the deeper you'll go into it, and the more happy you'll become. Will you do another public relationship? I don't know. I feel like the only way that I would is if my partner was in the public eye in some way, and it would be like inevitable. But even then, I wouldn't go deep in detail. I wouldn't even really, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't go out of my way. Like, y'all will know that I got a man, but y'all aren't gonna really know much more than that. I don't know, though. Probably not. What people don't know, they can't ruin, you know? And also, not saying that somebody's gonna be able to do that, especially with my, like, lifetime partner, like, lifelong partner. But still, like, you know, I'd rather just not have opinions or questions or people just in my relationship. But also, like, I'm gonna show it. So, like, a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I'll be somewhere in the middle. Ask me again when I have a man. Can you just give us some random advice on manifestation? Our thoughts literally create our reality. We're actually manifesting like 24/7. How our reality is right now is because of a thought that we had previously. If you believe you can have something, you can have it. And manifestation and prayer, they go right hand in hand. It's the same thing. It's like, you have to have faith, believe that you can have it, and know that it will be provided for you. Don't overthink it, don't overanalyze it. Put it out into the universe, or pray to God for it, or write it in a journal. Manifest it, speak it, say, I want this and I know I deserve this, and let it go. When you're at a restaurant and you place an order, you're not in the kitchen harassing the chef and making sure he's making your food. You just know he's making your food. And it's the same thing when you plant something and a flower doesn't grow the next day. There's things happening underground that you don't see, and you know that nature is gonna do its thing and it's gonna grow that flower. Are you gonna rip it out of the ground the next day when you don't see a flower? No. So it's the same thing with manifestations and prayers pending. You put it out there and you do you. Also, another thing, if you're trying to manifest like a whole new reality, like new financial status, people, you know, new country to live in, or something big, or even small, honestly, even if you just want a new car, or like a boyfriend, or I don't know, whatever you want. It doesn't matter how big it is, honestly. You have to start embodying the person that has that. That's the biggest thing. That is my favorite thing to do when I'm manifesting, because again, your thoughts create your reality. So if you're delusional and thinking, oh yeah, I already have it, thank you, that's another thing, being grateful for it before it even comes, boom, then the universe has no choice but to bring it into fruition, because you're already grateful for it. Also, be grateful for the things you have now, and things will come faster. There's so many things. I feel like I just said like a little bit of everything. But yeah, just identify as somebody who already has it, and be grateful for it as if you already have it, and just know that you deserve it, and be patient. That's really the big things. How to stop seeking male validation. I used to do this. I used to seek validation externally, not even just from men, but from friends and family, but really from men. The reason that we seek external validation is because we don't trust ourselves, and we don't have or give validation to ourselves. Most of our problems stem from not loving ourselves and accepting ourselves fully. Think about that. If you can't get over somebody, or you know they're bad for you and toxic for you and you just can't, that's because you're attached, because there's something in you that you don't feel or that you want from this other person or this other source. Like, most of our problems stem from us not fully loving and accepting ourselves and having a relationship with the Most High in whatever form that looks like. But anyway, you just have to start giving yourself love and complimenting yourself and growing your self-confidence, and also take whoever that is, take them off a pedestal. People only are as meaningful as we make them. And I know that sounds really messed up, but think about it. They were literally just a stranger at the mall however long ago, and now they're your whole world. People really don't have meaning until you place meaning on them. Same thing with music and songs or smells. We give things meaning, everything. So like, you're giving this man or whoever so much meaning and power over you to where you can't even trust your own judgment and self and give yourself validation. And it's not easy to just like not seek it, but self-awareness is the first step. Self-awareness is step one. Once you're self-aware, you can move your game piece from there. But you're not moving from that start until you're self-aware. What experience changed you most from 2021? I met one of my exes that year, and he changed my life, aka kind of started my like spiritual journey and like really woke me up to a lot of things and triggered me to my healing journey. And for that, I'm forever grateful for him, seriously, because I would not be who I am without him coming into my life, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Although there are things that were done and said that I do not agree with, I am so grateful that all the things said and done happened because they were meant to trigger me, and vice versa. I know I triggered the shit out of him too, like not on purpose, but that year 2021 literally is forever engraved in my brain, not for him, but for what he taught me and like woke me up to. It's been a beautiful, almost 3 years since that point. Almost 4 years of just like journey. Like, I really feel like that is where my journey really started, of loving myself and appreciating and validating myself, because I was also seeking his external validation at one point too. So like, without that experience, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't know what I know today, and I wouldn't have healed as much as I've healed today without that experience in 2021. So that is definitely my answer. And also, that is the year that I turned 18 and moved to Atlanta, which I feel like was for a reason, because hello, I met. Anyway, that was also like a big girl step, but that didn't really change me. I mean, shit, yes it did actually. I wouldn't be the same person if I never went to Atlanta, period. But especially met the people that I met and experienced the things that I did with those people, because as much shit as I went through with so many people up there, I'm so grateful for every single one of them, because I learned so much, and I have discernment now, and I have self-love and self-respect and self-trust now, and I genuinely think that era, although I don't want to go back and I won't, I needed that. Getting over rejection, baby. Rejection is protection. Rejection is redirection. God sees things that we do not see. We cannot see the full picture, the full frame, if we're in the picture. And that goes for a lot of things. But if somebody can't see your worth or value or see how special you are, that's their loss. You really have to remind yourself that you were literally made perfectly. And so if somebody doesn't see that, it's not like fuck them or there's something wrong with them, but like, it's just their loss. And maybe y'all are not even supposed to be in each other's lives or paths anyway. Maybe you have completely different paths and, you know, it's irrelevant. Or again, it's protection or redirection, because you're just not meant to, you know, experience said person. I feel like rejection, although it hurts our ego, it is protecting us. Long distance relationship tip: Snapchat, bestie, because you can see each other's face like throughout the day, which I think is a cute little add-on. I know people probably do that even if they're not long distance, but I don't know, I really like that. Communication is gonna be a lot more needed than normal. Also, try to like send each other shit, like, whoa, like flowers or boo baskets or something. I don't know, like keep it cute and try to plan. Always have the next meetup planned, because you have something to look forward to. And also, don't talk like every minute of the day. I know it's gonna be hard don't talk every minute of the day, because at the end of the day, or like at night when you FaceTime, you're not gonna have shit to talk about, and the conversations are not gonna be that great because you know literally every single thing that happened. Like, that's kind of boring, you know, that gets repetitive after a while. Favorite ways to romanticize your life? Definitely slow mornings, candles, jazz music, yes, or even like any frequency music, like feminine frequency music, yes, that's my jam. Matching PJs. Oh, the power of matching PJs. The power of a matching PJ set and slippers. It's like I'm in a movie. It's like I feel like a princess, okay? Also, just romanticizing your life, being grateful for every part of your life, every part of your day. Act like you're in a movie. Like, that's my favorite part. I just act like I'm the main character. Thoughts on saving yourself? I say do it. Do not feel pressured to have sex with anybody. If you're not ready and if you really want to save yourself for marriage, do it. But also, if you don't want to do that, or you've already not done that, don't shame yourself, or don't allow other people to shame you. And also, if you are saving yourself, don't shame other people for not saving themselves. Everybody should do what they want to do and what's best for them. No judgment. Literally no judgment. It's beautiful if you're saving yourself. I just don't want anyone to make somebody else feel uncomfortable or shameful for not. I'm not saving myself to marriage. I mean, I'm saving myself for commitment, but you know, like, it's not the end all be all if you don't. I will say sex is a very powerful thing, which is why it's always said in the Bible and other scriptures to wait till marriage, because in a way it is a physical marriage and a spiritual marriage. When you're physically intimate with somebody, their energy stays in your body. Like, you guys are literally exchanging body fluids and parts and DNA and all that. So that's why it's always talked about, especially in religion, to save yourself, because you're just saving yourself hassle of being energetically entangled with people you don't need to be energetically entangled with. But I will leave you with this. If you're not saving yourself to marriage, that's fine. But just kind of remember that and keep that in the back of your head, and just be smart with who you do sleep with, and just make sure that they're good. Not hooking up with a whole bunch of people because they're all them people that they're hooking up with. All that energy is going to be attached to you. So just be smart with who you're being intimate with. And again, don't judge people. Either way, don't judge people for nothing, because you don't really know. And also, when you're judging people, you're really judging yourself and you're projecting. So just don't judge people for anything. It doesn't matter. Everybody's on their own journey. How to not get stuck doom scrolling on social media. Girl, I will let you know. No, I'm playing. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. I do it too. It's so bad. Honestly, you can blame doom scrolling for my inconsistency. I'm just gonna say it. It's so bad, and it's really addicting, and it's freaking scary how addicting it is. But recently, because I'm really trying to lock in during this like winter arc, I really have been doing good. But if I catch myself doom scrolling, I'll literally, or doing anything that I'm trying to break a habit of, I'll literally be like, we don't do that over here. We don't doom scroll. Or, you know, we don't talk about past situations, or we don't do this. And literally be like, yeah, no, I don't do that. Like, we don't do that. And just turn it off. It's been working. And it's honestly my form of manifesting a different and better version of me, because Lyss 5.0, that's what I call her. Lyss 5.0 doesn't do that. She doesn't doom scroll. She doesn't wake up late. She doesn't sleep in. She doesn't skip the gym. So when I think about doing any of those things, I'm like, we don't do that. I don't do that. It works. Life hack. Not being able to finish during sex. Unfortunately, this is so common, and I hate that for us. Ugh. This is why we should just save ourselves for commitment. Because I feel like a main problem with not being able to climax during intercourse is because we're dealing with people who don't really care about that. Because I don't understand how a guy or man or whatever cannot have that as their objective. How is that not your objective? If that's not your objective, you do not deserve to hit. Sorry, you selfish little fucker. Honestly, this is why, like, I mean, again, no judgment. You know what I'm saying? We got needs. I get it. I will say, this is why some thought, you know, at least should be put into it, because it's like, if we're gonna be sexually active, it needs to be with the right people. And that is really important, especially if you're still a virgin. I know we're not talking about that, but like, just for the virgins, make sure that it's with somebody that you trust and who genuinely loves you and wants to provide for you and like cater to you and make you finish. That's for everybody. I feel like fuck hookup culture. Like, again, do you. I definitely dabbled in it myself. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you, but fuck it. Like, why risk it? You know what I'm saying? As long as, if we're with somebody who we know got us, is actually providing for us, like, hello, they don't deserve it if they're not. Let's just leave that at that. But anyway, and genuinely wants to see us happy and finish. And if it's like not their fault, like they just don't know what they're doing, talk to them, like tell them, be like, hey, so, like, if it's your boyfriend, and he can't make you finish, bless his heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk to him. Just be like, hey, I don't even know, like, just be honest. Just be honest. That's the only way it can get better. And now that he knows, he's gonna try his motherfucking hardest. You better. And this is why, another side note, this is why I think masturbation is, like, there's a beauty in that for that. Now you know your body. Now you can teach him if you need to. You can be like, okay, so try this. Not the hand motion, my bad. Like, okay, how about you try this? Or maybe, oh, okay, I like this, I don't like this. Or after, like, okay, I liked it when you did this, but I didn't. You just have to say it. Open your mouth. And talking about sex with your partner should not be awkward. If it's awkward, you probably shouldn't even be doing it with them. Or at all. I'm not gonna lie, my face is so dry. How should I go about forgiving a man that hurt me but genuinely changed? Okay, if it's been long enough to where you actually know that like happened and also see the change, then I think that's one thing. I think everybody has the ability to change and genuinely become better. I think certain experiences wake people up. I think somebody who is a really bad person or bad partner or whatever, bad friend, can go through something and experience something, what I call ego deaths, or God humbling them, that can really wake somebody up and make them want better for themselves and the people around them. So I definitely think that people change. I just think that you should have boundaries with that person and observe them, observe their behavior and actions, and see if their words are matching their actions and if their actions are consistent. If you've seen change and you wholeheartedly believe, and use your discernment, because people also be acting too, trying to get back. Use your discernment, use your intuition, and ask God to show you their true intentions. Have they really changed? And honestly, if you can fully forgive them and move forward, then great. But if you haven't fully forgotten or let go of the past and they've changed, that's going to become really frustrating, and it's probably going to ruin the relationship because they've changed and they're not going to want to keep hearing the past being brought up when they don't resonate with that anymore. And also, you're clearly not over it, so like there's resentment there as well. What do you wish you could have told your 18-year-old self? Wow, Alyssa, you are worthy of so much. You deserve everything. You don't need to settle. There are so many people out there who will love you and appreciate you for you and unconditionally love you without conditions. Slow down. Everything's gonna be okay. Just have faith and trust that you are right where you need to be. You don't need to compare yourself to other people. You don't need to say yes to other people when you don't want to. And it's okay to relax. Your worth is not in your productivity. And you are beautiful. You are fucking beautiful. And people love you. And it's hard to see it. I know you don't see it. But people really genuinely love you. I'm literally about to cry. People genuinely love you, and you change people's lives, and you make people's days better. You are worthy of so much simply just for that. I'm gonna stop there because I'm gonna cry. I'm also gonna stop here so I can wash this off because I literally can't feel my face. And then we're gonna do skincare. I'm back. Alright, so after my mud mask and wash my face, by the way, I use mostly every day, I use my CeraVe hydrating foam cleanser. But I also really like my Coats Gentle cleanser as well. These two are my favorites. I use this every day and I double cleanse with this, like in the shower. But if I really want like just a subtle cute cleanse real quick, I usually go for this one. And I travel with this one. So now onto my skincare routine. I feel like this is like this big old secret because I don't think I've ever done one like officially. Anyway, so I got this from Target. This is from Good Molecules. It's the niacinamide serum. It refines texture and the visible pores. I say it works. I really like it, and it makes my skin really smooth, and I don't see no pores. I really like it. I like how it feels. Okay. How do you stay consistent in the gym? I want to be honest, for a long time, and I mean a long time. I started in what, 2022? So 2 whole years I BS'd low-key in the gym. Like I wouldn't be consistent, or I would for a month and then fall off and whatever. There came a time where I literally just looked at myself in the mirror and realized nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's going to wake me up and force me to go to the gym every day. Every day is going to pass by anyway, so I might as well go to the gym. I might as well not miss out on my gains. And also another big part of it was I wasn't eating enough. So I wasn't seeing gains and I wasn't motivated. But motivation isn't always going to be there. That's why you need discipline to be consistent. Like it's like a love triangle of words. You can't have one without the other kind of thing. When you have motivation, act on your motivation. Turn that into discipline. So even when the motivation goes away, your discipline is still making you go. And then that discipline will turn into consistency and you'll start to see results. And honestly, once I started seeing results, that's when you can catch my ass in there all the time, because yeah, I want to keep going. Like, it's motivating. Next up, I use my Coats hydrating toning milk. I freaking love this. I swear this product single-handedly cleared my skin. Like, for real. I love it so much. It's so gentle. Honestly, Coats period, like, I never knew who they were until they reached out to me and wanted to work with me. And I'm so glad they did, because I love their products. You can get them at like CVS or online, but I love Coats. And if you were to get one thing from probably this whole lineup, get this. It's so good. And there's not BS ingredients in it either. It's literally just like clean ingredients. Their whole line. I don't know if I finished that thought, but like, just go. And honestly, it feels good to go anyway. And like, there will come a point where it'll feel weird not to go. It's just, you have to get consistent with it. And again, you're not going to be motivated every day. Like, especially if you work out in the morning. Like, when I wake up, I just put my gym clothes on and just go. And once I'm there, I never regret it. That's the thing. You never regret a workout. I have never regretted a workout, even if it wasn't a good workout. I've never regretted one. Anyway, but for real, just get to the gym. You'll feel good, and once you see the results, that's all the motivation you'll need. Trust me. Why body count doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep saying this. Everybody is on their own journey. Everybody comes into our life for a reason and a season, and they serve a purpose. Everybody, and vice versa. You serve a purpose in people's lives as well, even if it's temporary. Even if you're not meant to be in their life forever. You're meant to teach them something. That's life. Like, God uses people and experiences and opportunities and so many different things to communicate to us on what we need to work on. Also, our thoughts are our reality. So how we view ourselves is how people show up in our lives. And I say all that to say, sometimes it takes hooking up with a couple people or a lot of people before you learn, okay, this is my sacred little vessel. I probably shouldn't do that. Or I don't want to do that. Or I want to wait for a commitment, or I want to save myself to marriage, or whatever. Body count doesn't matter, because body count literally just is experience. Like, not even sexual, whatever. Yeah, that comes with it, obviously. But, like, it's life experience. You're learning. Even if you're choosing, you know, to go crazy, do you. That is part of your life. That is part of your healing journey. That is part of your history and your life story. It's not that big of a deal. And honestly, society and people like to shame people for it and whatever. But it's just like, bro, that doesn't change. Okay, now what? She has a high body count. Now what? The world keeps freaking spinning. That's what. Like, it's not that serious. Now, am I telling you to go out here and go to Pound Town with everybody? No. But at the end of the day, you have free will. And if that's something that you want to do, do it. But just know that you can always not. And you can always change that. I feel like a lot of things in life, especially like controversial topics that people do or don't do, it's still gonna happen, whether you have a comment about it or not. There's no point in judging. Just because somebody does something that you could never do doesn't make it the ugliest, worst thing on the planet. Like, I don't know. It's really not that serious. And honestly, who even creates a standard number? Like, I don't know. Mine isn't stupid high, but it's not stupid low either. And when people ask me what my body count is, I don't even fucking tell them, because it's just like, bro, what? Why are you even asking me? If somebody asks you what your body count is, that says more about them than it does you. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. And that's on some grown shit, for real. Because nobody grown gives a fuck. Because they know that it's just experience in your past. And that doesn't ultimately change anything. That doesn't change your value, your worth, nothing. No matter how many times or how many people try to say it, it doesn't. You are still whole on your own no matter what you've put your body through, willingly or not. Like, you're still whole and you're still worthy. How's your journey with God going? Great. And I want to touch on this because I feel like I haven't been. Also, I totally forgot to tell you. This is La Roche-Posay. I can't say it for real. Like, I always have to say it like that. The Double Repair Face Moisturizer. I love it. It feels so thick on my skin. I just love how replenished I feel. Oh, I'm going to put more moisturizer on so I can do a little bit of gua sha. Also, I'm not a pro. I'm just doing shit. Oh, anyway. I feel like I don't really talk about the fact that I'm not religious. I think it's confusing because I think some people think I am and whatever. I mean, I have a relationship with God. I believe in God. I go to church. Like, I don't read the Bible, but when I see verses, like, I'm like, yeah, period. Like, I don't know. I'm not religious, but I have a very deep connection with the Most High, with our Creator. I think after learning certain things and experiencing my spiritual awakening, a lot of things changed for me perspective-wise, and I realized that we are just so much bigger than that. And I also learned that there's a reason why there's so many religions, because people learn things differently and have their own experience with the Most High differently. And I learned that the way I have a relationship with God works even better, and I feel even closer with God than I did in religion. The way I view religion is how, okay, we're gonna use a sports analogy. Spirituality in general, like just our soul and having a connection with the higher power. Spirituality as a whole is basketball, right? And all the teams are religions. That's how I view it. And honestly, that's like the perfect analogy because it makes the most sense. And different strokes for different folks. And I am so glad and grateful that I've come into the relationship that I have with him in my own beautiful, special way that I know not everybody's going to understand. I know a lot of people do understand because there's also other, spiritual people. But yeah, no, I'm not super religious, to be honest. And nothing against people who are. And also, I'm not going to hell just because I'm not. Like, I have a different set of beliefs, and that is okay. I think that's the beauty in the world, is that nobody is the same, nobody is perfect, and everybody has their own opinions and beliefs and thoughts. So there's really no point in trying to like convert me or convert people, period. Like, what works for you works for you, what works for me works for me. And I obviously have a great life, a great connection with God. And yeah, I know some of y'all are like, it's God, not the universe. Well, it's both to me. It's a higher power. It's a consciousness and energy that we are all parts of, which is why they say God in human flesh and all that stuff. Like, we are in Christ consciousness. Like, we are all pieces of this one consciousness, aka God, Allah, Jah, all the names, God, the universe, source, spirit. There's so many names. I have a connection with that energy, and I feel it the most when I feel at home with myself the most. And that's how I connect with God. And I talk to God like he's my best freaking friend. And I don't limit the ways of communication. Like, I believe in, astrology and tarot cards and a whole bunch of stuff, synchronicities, angel numbers, all that stuff, because how close-minded and small-minded of somebody to think that God isn't talking to us in so many ways at all times, because he's here to help us and help us evolve and live a good life. And there's more than just one or two ways of communication from the Most High. So it kind of frustrates me, I'll be honest, when people are like, oh, like, angel numbers aren't real, or like, that's demonic, or tarot cards, or witchcraft and all this stuff. And it's just like, it's so sad, because that is a narrative that has been pushed, and it just sucks because I have such a beautiful relationship with the Most High, and I use tarot cards to my advantage, and I'm so grateful that they exist because it allows me to get so much clarity. And that is really when I feel, there's certain times where I feel so heard by God, and it's through times like that when I'm communicating with him, through cards. Like, he picks the ones that fall out. Like, I don't know. And I get not everybody's gonna like that, and I personally don't care. I love you. Like, that doesn't change how much I love you at all. Different strokes for different folks. It's okay. I'm not going to hell or whatever because I don't follow certain rules. Like, no, I feel we are free spirits, and that's why I don't like confining myself to a religion. And if that works for you, that works for you, but it doesn't work for me. But I still take what resonates with me, you know, with Christianity. I go to church, I have Christian friends, and I talk about God with them, and we're all ultimately saying the same thing, just in a different language. And I know how to adapt to people's languages. I know how to, you know, translate how I would say something versus how somebody else would say something, and we're saying the same thing. Have faith, trust, manifest, pray. It's all the same thing, just in different ways of expression. And I understand that not everybody believes that, and that's okay. Again, like, I really think at the end of the day, no singular person has the same spiritual journey as the next, even if they're in the same religion. So I don't know, I feel like religion kind of kept me closed-minded, and as soon as I explored my own spirituality and asked questions and didn't believe just everything that was told to me, and I genuinely found it out on my own and experienced it on my own, I found a beautiful relationship with the Most High through that. So I will forever tell people to just stay open-minded and ask questions. And, you know, when you're told that something that you were told your whole life that you thought was true isn't fully true or whatever, it's like, what? No, you're wrong. And I feel like that's what happens when people talk about religion and they don't agree, you know? But I don't want to cause this. Like, I know it's inevitable. I know people are really firm in their beliefs, and that's okay. But ultimately, I'm saying this and, like, sharing this to say that judging somebody and, like, being hard on somebody and pointing at somebody like you're wrong for doing this or whatever is not going to make them convert to your religion. It's not going to make them want to, you know, even hear you out. And it doesn't even have to be about religion. It could be about anything, any opinions or beliefs. And I just really want to stop hiding my relationship with God just because it's different. And I know that there are other people out there like me that have, you know, a more spiritual approach rather than religious. And who would I be to rob, you know, that for them, of them? Like, I don't know. This is a judge-free zone. This channel is just love and positivity. And if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And we can all just coexist. And again, if you're religious, if you're not, if you're somewhere in between, it doesn't matter. We're all here ultimately for the same purpose, and that's to evolve and you know, be our highest and truest and authentic self and experience life. People experience life differently, and they receive guidance from consciousness, from spirit, differently, and that's okay. Also, for my spiritual baddies, let me know if y'all want me to talk more about it, because I'm honestly getting to a point where I'm tired of hiding it just because I have this fear of being shunned by religious people. And honestly, if you're like that, then you're not meant to be on this channel anyway. So at this point, I'm really letting go, and I just don't care anymore. And I'm not gonna hold it back. But I really do appreciate those who don't have the same beliefs as me and respect mine and still love me, because that's all that matters. Like, not everybody's gonna freaking have the same beliefs, opinions, thoughts, truths, whatever. And that's okay. You can still coexist. Practicing detachment and appreciating divine timing. This one, I'm gonna put some eye thingies on, by the way. I got these from Temu, actually. They're so good, though. Detachment, by the way, is not like a negative thing. Detachment literally just means I'm fine however this ends up going. Not being attached to outcomes or people or meanings, and just being able to go with the flow. Not really having attachment to, a certain outcome. Like, just having trust in the divine and having faith that everything is working out in your favor and not the other way around. Everything is working for us, not against us. Oh, these are really, like, wet. I forgot what I was saying now, but basically, just have trust and have faith that things are working in our favor at all times. It's not some big man in the sky being like, no, you don't deserve this because you fucked up yesterday. No. Like, I don't think that we should be living in fear. I don't think that we should be living in constant panic of not being perfect, or, like, I don't know. That's stressful. Divine timing, Again, it goes back to just the big picture. When we're in the picture, we can't see the whole frame. We can't see the whole thing if we're in it. There's things that are hidden from us on purpose because if we knew, we would self-sabotage. There's reasons that certain things happen that we don't know why, simply so we can heal and give ourselves the closure and find out the reason or whatever. There's so many reasons. Everything happens for a reason. There are reasons for every single thing. There's no such thing as coincidences, ever. It's all communication from God trying to guide you. Time is not real, okay? Like seconds and minutes and all that shit, it's not really real. We're working on divine timing for real. Like time is an illusion. It's just something that helps the human on earth. Like we're so much bigger than just human beings. We're souls experiencing a human life on earth. That's all. And so time is just something that's on earth, basically. Well, when we're sent to what I call earth school for our souls to evolve and learn and go through things with the help of God guiding us, everything is on divine timing because certain things have to be lined up a certain way for us to learn certain things or to meet certain people or to avoid accidents or whatever. There's timing for everything, even if you're late to school or late to work or your flight gets delayed or anything like that. Any delays are really not delays. It's just like timing, and there's a reason. Just remind yourself that we're not operating on our own timing. If we were operating on our own timing, we would have messed things up along some type of way. Like God knows when we're ready for something and when we're not. And when we're not, we can self-sabotage. And that's why, honestly, you just gotta shrug your shoulders. You just gotta shrug your shoulders and keep living life, man. Just keep going day by day, trusting that everything is happening in your favor and everything is going to be okay ultimately. And whatever you're stressing about right now, timing-wise and not being patient about, it probably won't even matter in the next 2 years. Balancing your pH. I'm just gonna outright say it. If you're sexually active, don't be letting that man in you. Okay, that's like the biggest thing that causes pH imbalance and BV. Okay, don't do that. That's literally bodily fluids mixing with your bodily fluids. That's not really gonna go well. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna be honest. Just take it from me. Okay, just take it. Also, drink water. Don't be wearing tight ass underwear. Let her breathe, because that's another thing. If it's not able to breathe, shit gets funky and then shit gets a little off. Don't use soap, scented soap down there. I personally use Monistat. I'm too lazy to get up, but I'll show you a screenshot. I get it from Amazon. It's got boric acid in it, and so it basically like deodorizes it without throwing off the pH. I love it, honestly, and I only use a little bit, just a little with my hands, like whatever. Some people use baby soap, like Baby Dove, bar of soap. Some people just use water. Like, just don't use anything scented, because that will throw off your pH as well. And also be careful with what you're eating. If there's something that you're eating that you're not supposed to, like a lot of people are lactose, a lot of people aren't able to even process dairy, and that could also be a reason why it's being off. Like, say you're doing everything right and you're like still like, what's going on? It's probably your diet as well. If you're on birth control, what type you're on? If so, do you recommend it? Girl, I am not on birth control. I was gonna say I'm on prayers. That sounds really bad. I'm not even sexually active. I don't even know why I said that. I'm not on birth control because I'm not sexually active, and I know that by the time I am sexually active again, it's with somebody that I wouldn't mind having a child with anyways. I know that sounds crazy, but if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. That's kind of how I'm at. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen, and if it's not, then it's literally not. But yeah, I'm not on birth control. I was on birth control when I was in high school. When I was 17, you probably noticed. I definitely gained a lot of weight from it. I was on the pill. I didn't really like it. I was very hormonal and I gained a lot of weight, and that was what started my McDonald's addiction, by the way. But yeah, I didn't really like it. I gained a lot of weight and I was just hormonal as fuck. And for the trade-off, it just didn't seem worth it. Like, I don't know. Because birth control tricks your body into thinking that you're already pregnant. So you have symptoms and hormones and all that shit is fucked up. And honestly, even if you're taking other medication, it can like throw off one of the other ones. I don't even know. I personally didn't like the pill. Also, if you forget, you can literally get pregnant. Moral of the story, I'm not on birth control. I don't know what to recommend, to be honest. It's different for everybody. I would say the IUD or even the arm implant, maybe. Those are the two that I've heard are like the best, and sometimes you don't even get periods. I could literally do this for 3 hours, y'all. All right, we're gonna do one more. How to tap into your self-love journey. Do what you want your future partner to do for you. Buy yourself flowers, take yourself out on dates, compliment yourself, show yourself attention, you know, allow yourself to rest, have self-respect, commit to your goals, and show yourself that you're consistent, that you're loyal to yourself, stand up for yourself, have boundaries so you trust yourself and feel safe with yourself. Every single thing that you would want your future partner or partner to do for you, do it for you. And I promise you, you will love yourself so much, and you won't tolerate disrespect or BS from anybody because you don't tolerate it from with yourself. And also, the more you love yourself, the clearer it gets externally, and people will stop playing with you. It's an energy thing, I swear. Like, people stopped playing with me, especially men. Like, they know.
Okay, I can't really fuck with her. Like, I know I cannot play no games with her. Like, I could just tell.
It's an unspoken energy when you really are confident in yourself and love yourself and show up for yourself. And also, yeah, men, they can see it. They don't play that. And then they're going to show up correctly. They're going to show up giving you flowers and taking you on dates and complimenting you and validating you and trusting you and being loyal and committed because you're that to yourself. All right, it is 11:30. I started this like over an hour ago. Anyway, okay. I had so much fun recording this. I really feel like we're about to have a whole lot more of these. Okay, a whole lot more of these. Also, let me know, because I have a podcast. I haven't plugged it on YouTube for real, but I'm going to start because it's really good. The ReaLysst podcast, that's my podcast on pretty much any audio platform like Spotify, Apple, Google, all that. And I'm about to come back on the YouTube channel for it too. So like visual podcast videos, not just audio. So what I say that to say, let me know if there's any specific topic or question that I answered that you would want a in-depth podcast episode about. Let me know and I got you. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned a little bit about me. I hope you learned a lot about yourself. I hope you apply what you need to apply and you resonated and you needed to hear something in this video. I love you so much and I will see you guys very soon in my next video, and until then, bye.